So I was having trouble figuring out how to introduce my next guest. There's a lot of information about him, so I thought I would just ask him. Jackie Spade, who are you?
I'm a presence. I'm a son. I'm a brother. You dig? I'm an artist, and I'm me. Sound cliche, but simple as that. I'm a presence.
I think your career is interesting because it seems that you started kind of quote unquote late, right? In it. So first of all, what drew you to rhyming? Like, what made you say, I want to put my thoughts, my stories to pad?
Well, of course, me starting out rapping was a joke, and like the serious look my cousin gave me when I told him that I was gonna start rapping, and he said he could believe in me. That kind of made me write my first lyrics. That made me be like, okay, let me try this, see if I could really do it. He got this belief in me. Let me see how much. Let me see if I can get more belief in me. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So.
You said your cousin had this belief in you, and for someone who's been trying to write a rhyme for my whole life and been failing miserably, if your cousin was here and he was to answer this, what would he say in terms of like, yeah, you were joking, but I saw something. So what did he see?
I actually asked him that before, and he was just like, I just always been like the humble dude that look out for people, you know what I'm saying? I don't really cause no problems or anything. I'll just stay in my own lane. I've always had a different mindset from the place I grew up and the people in my environment. My mindset, the way I thought, and some of the things I've did was always a little different, you know what I'm saying? A little more eccentric. So I guess he saw that, and then he was like, bro, you just you know what I'm saying? I've been knowing you so long, it's just like, ain't anything you can do, I know you can be successful at it.
Do you remember those first lyrics you wrote or you spit that kind of had you say, yeah, my cousin's right? I mean,
not really. Not really. I do know once I wrote, I got a song called Outcast, and I was like, the flow on it, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The flow pattern on it, I was like, okay. That was the moment I knew, like, okay, maybe I can like rap a little bit, like, So maybe he was onto something.
You were born in North Carolina, but you lived in Philadelphia, Georgia. Where were you? I guess, yeah. Where were you when you discovered that kind of a gift to be an MC?
I was actually in college by then. I was in North Carolina, and that's when all that happened. My sophomore year in college, and I was like, because before then I never even thought about rapping. I've always liked music, you know what I'm saying, but I never thought about being an artist.
I read that in 5th grade, Lil Wayne was your favorite MC. What drew you to his music as a 5th grader? And then like kind of, we have our elementary school, 5th grade, even high school, people we like, and then we get older and we kind of reflect. Does Lil Wayne still like talk to you the same way? What have you gained or even lost of appreciation of what he does?
I don't think I've lost the appreciation for Lil Wayne. I feel like to me, Lil Wayne will always be great because he's done so much and he's tapped in so many different markets of music. You know what I'm saying? This man is a genius and he's still doing it to this day.
Mm-hmm.
What got me onto him was when he was with the Hot Boys and Cash Money, he was the little dude out the group. And then with me and all my older cousins and my friends and stuff, I was a little dude out the group. And I had braids back then too, so it was like, hey, right. Lil Wayne. I'm basically Lil Wayne. Of course, I'm gonna be a Lil Wayne fan.
I want to, I imagine you've been asked this a lot, but I want to quickly turn to 2015 when you were on the Cypher, BET's The Cypher. You killed it, but then also what sticks out to me is that DJ Premier is behind you. Mm-hmm. And if anyone in terms of like music that is playing music for you behind, starstruck maybe, I don't know, but is there that moment, do you even realize he's behind you? Is there like an extra sense of pressure to put on yourself to kind of, it's DJ Premier behind you?
It was like when he first walked in the warehouse or whatever, that's when all that like the anxiety and everything like was coming. It was hitting all at once. It was like, cause he was in there and a lot of other people was in there. But I went up and talked right before we started spitting. I went up and I talked to him. I just like was just introducing myself and everything. And he was just like, "Yeah, young boy, go out there and kill it." You know what I'm saying? So I was like, "All right, cool. That's the go ahead right there." Once the camera started rolling, everything else was was silent, dead silent behind me. So
That's dope.
yeah.
What was the main takeaway from that experience?
Meeting everybody, being in the same room, knowing that I could be in the same room with these people, and it, you know what I'm saying, I could still be recognized in the same room with like a lot of people I grew up listening to, a lot of artists I'm coming up with now. You know what I'm saying? It was a realization at that moment, like that I'm really doing something with this music.
You've talked about how you grew up with a grandmother that listened to anywhere from Marvin Gaye to Aretha Franklin. What impact? What do you remember most about each of them as an artist, or about listening to them as a kid? And then how do you feel their music has kind of impacted your career as an artist?
I feel like that music made me more in touch with like the soul, like, you know what I'm saying, being able to really want to make music that people feel. That music back then was so you could feel everything they said, the voice, the tone of the voice, everything. And it make you feel good. Like my grandma would clean, she would cook, and I just wanted to make give out that same energy. When you hear my music, it's gonna want to make you go through some kind of emotion or something like that. You know what I'm saying? I want you to do something in your daily life, listen to my music every day.
Artists you've also talked about, you've talked about Future, you talked about UGK, you've Lil Wayne, of course, Outkast, Juicy J. Mm-hmm. Just quickly, how have they kind of impacted you as an artist, but also as a human? I mean, what have you taken away from each of them?
Sure, expand, like, of course, being versatile with my style. I take a bits and pieces of each and every, all the cultures. They're like, people you name, Juicy J, Wayne, Future, they're all from different parts of the South. So I want to put all that into my arsenal of the South, you know what I'm saying? With 3-6 winning that Grammy, you know what I'm saying, back in the day, it lets you know that, you know what I'm saying, a lot of stuff like seeing them, those are some of the GOATs. You know, I want to put them up at the top, so I want to do better than them. You know what I'm saying? I hold them at a high standard just so I can do better than them.
I think one thing I'm wondering many things, but one thing I really appreciate about listening to your music is that you, like you said, you're versatile. Your style changes up. It's not the same. It's a different beat actually that you're rhyming over. It doesn't sound the same. And you do talk to some of the legends, and they say, you know, what was important to us is that we didn't sound like the next person. Yeah. I think, and not to sound like an old dude, but you know, I think a lot of today's generation they sound like they want to be hits, like they want to be a hit maker. Who instilled that in you? I mean, how did you know that? What made you say, I want to be different?
I think that's always been my thing. Even as a little kid, I've always wanted to be the one that stood out from everything. I don't talk much. Like, I'm not a pretty much like talkative. I'm kind of introverted, you know what I'm saying? So with that being said, like, I can't do it. I can't be that loud guy that stands out. I got to do it in other ways, you know what I'm saying? So I know with the music, you got to be different from everybody else. The wave that's going on, it's going to be a little harder to be different, but hey, you stay true to yourself, then it's better to be outside of the box. You don't jack in the box, you know? You don't put Jack in the box, so I just like being different. I don't like being like everybody else.
We talk about artists that you've mentioned your songs, or you mentioned in interviews, and you talk about Tupac, Biggie, Wayne, Slick Rick, Kanye. If you were to be kind of a fly in the wall and just hear a track or be a part of a studio session that any of them did, is there one particular track or album that you would say, at least, you know, be the dude getting coffee or something, you know, as long as you could be a part of that?
Low key, I wish I was in the studio for Hit 'Em Up. Like, I just want to see Pac, like, going crazy, like, you know what I'm saying, all over the studio. When he even, like, first got the initial info, like, that this was going on, he was like, okay, now I'm about to make a diss track. I want to know his mental thought, like, his thought process, what was he going through, his energy, how angry was he really, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then he go in the booth. I want to see that. I want to see him record Hit 'Em Up.
Nice. It's a good track.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
You do something, one of your tracks, Country Love, is of course Ode to the South. It's about kind of being a country boy in the South. You know, everyone has done it. UGK has done that, you know, and Outkast has done that. You do it really well, and even Talib Kweli has done it as well. Why this ode to the South, and what do you think people miss most when they talk about the South and hip hop in the South?
I really wanted to do that track because a lot of my music, you can't really tell where I'm from. Like, people, they don't know if I'm from the West Coast, they don't know if I'm from up here or from Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? So when I did that, I was like, okay, this is definitely going to be some. I actually did a song a long time ago called Carolina, you know, but then when I linked up with Petey, I was like, okay, this is my chance to do something for North Carolina, for the Carolinas in general, you know what I'm saying? So that was my big thing. I want to do big things for my state, you know what I'm saying? I want to put us on. A lot of people been doing it. I want to help continue to carry the torch, you know what I'm saying?
As a New Yorker, obviously, that's because we're cocky and assholes, but we say like, we go, New York is where hip hop started, blah, 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 right? Yeah. I always felt that there was a moment where two things, New York hip hop lost that soulfulness, and then I would go to the South to kind of like regain that soulfulness back.
Yeah.
What is it about Southern hip hop that kind of, I don't know, inherently feels like it has the soulfulness to it?
It's the producers, for one. The producers are a big part of that. They make a lot of the soulful, so they use a lot of the soulful samples from back in the day and stuff like that. But I don't know, really just North Carolina, we just a very soulful place. You know, we're kind of country. We're in the country, but we're not really in the country. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. That's where the soul is at, if you ask me. You know, of course, New York, there's so much going on. It's a melting pot. You know, there's so many type of avenues you can go up here, and there's so much, like, the atmosphere here, you know what I'm saying, down there, we actually cook Sunday dinners and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? People link up and have cookouts and stuff like that more often than maybe y'all do up here. So
right.
We have more of that family, traditionals type things we do down there.
What do you think, humble opinion, the biggest impact that Southern hip-hop and culture and rap music has had on just all of hip-hop culture and rap music? I know that's a huge question as I say that out loud. Yeah. Sorry.
I don't know. That is a big question. I don't know. Like, I feel like in every camp, no matter who your camp is, there's somebody from the South, like, in that camp. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's somebody from the South, like a producer or something. Like, everybody's working with somebody from the South, North Carolina. So we touching everything. You know what I'm saying? That's why I feel like, I don't know. That's a big question.
Raised on Section 8 and Paper Plates is the hook from the tracks Section 8. Looking back, how has it, as T.I. says, you don't want to do reflection based on, you don't want people to mistake reflection based on, it doesn't stand for glorification. I fucked that up. Anyway, yes. How do you do a track like that where you're showing people that you are reflecting, you're not glorifying anything that you grew up doing?
I would say, with that, it's just like you just really got to pay attention to what I'm saying, more or less. Like, you ain't gonna see me talking about how I did such and such. If you listen to the song, you'll hear me say, I'm learning a lesson. I was learning a lesson. I'm like, I wanted to do something different. I was doing it because I thought I was doing something good. You know what I'm saying? So if you can't get it out of that, I'm not glorifying anything bad. And then I say, still I shine. After all that, I'm telling you, after all that I've been through, still I shine. That should let you know I'm not glorifying none of that. I'm just letting you know it's a chance for you to do the same thing I did. Same thing I'm trying to do for my people, my environment, my community.
You do concerts, you travel, obviously, for interviews. When do you have time to write? Is there like an ideal?
It's like like on the way here, I was in the car, just thought of a line, just jot it down real quick, you know what I'm saying? Or as soon as I leave here, my homies may be like, yo, let's hit a studio session or something. I could write it on the spot like that. Sometimes that's when the best thing comes, you write on the spot, instead of overthinking it. But any downtime I got, I'm trying to write, of course, everybody think on the toilet, so
yeah.
Toilet, you feel me? Like, that's my alone time, of course. So I get it in when I get it in, pretty much. Yeah.
A line like that you just thought of on the way here. Is that? Do you already know kind of the concept of the song, or is it just one of those things that It's a line that might fit somewhere.
I probably build a whole song around that line. Like, we was talking about something about, we was in Texas, we was in the hills, and that's how the line came, something about life seemed kind of surreal now that we living in the hills or something like that. So that's the only line I have so far. But by the time you hear a song, it's going to probably be based around all that, like life being surreal and stuff like that. The experience we had, like, staying in the hills and stuff like that. So.
Speaking of lyrics, is there a line or a lyric to this day that you've written or even spit, or maybe people might not even know about it, just that kind of has you say, like, damn, I can't believe I wrote that, or damn, I can't believe I came up with that?
I say that a lot for a lot of, I feel like I have an alter ego sometimes. Like, sometimes I write some stuff, and then I'll listen to it probably like a few months later. I'm like, damn, I really wrote that? Was that really me? Like, you know, like, but I don't know, I do that a lot, like, because I don't listen to myself, like, a lot. I don't know if that's what people do, like, listen to themselves or whatever, but I don't listen to myself. I do the song, I'll listen to it for a little bit, but I'm on to the next thing. But if I come back across that song like a couple months down the road, I'm like, damn, that is kind of dope. I could be a fan of myself if I wasn't myself, like, you know. So, but yeah, I surprise myself a lot.
Do you have speaking of which, do you have a sounding board in terms of, like, or does everything kind of go through you in terms of final?
Pretty much, yeah. Like, I'll send it off to a few other people, but that's just pretty much for there, like, to see if they like it or whatever, see if they can give me some pointers or whatever. But, you know, everything is, once I do it, I do it. Because I engineer all my stuff myself.
Oh, shit,
so
wow.
I do all that myself. Like, I don't make the beat. The only thing I don't do is make the beats. So.
Is that next, making the beats?
Yeah. Once I do that, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. It's a wrap.
So you're here, you're in New York now and doing media stuff. What's next for you? Where do you go from here?
We head back to the crib. We got a little listening party. Our homie got a listening party as well. BC 704. You know. But yeah, we back home for a little bit. We've been on the road for about 2.5 weeks, 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying, something like that. So I'll probably rest up for a few days and then got a video shoot. Got some other things to do. Like, back at it.
You know. Favorite thing about being on the road?
Just being on the road in general. I like being on the road. Like, I don't like staying home.
Nice.
You know, I don't know. I'm a traveler. I'm a nomad in spirit. You know.
Favorite thing about rhyming?
Actually just making the art itself. Like, actually making a song. Because I never thought I could do it.
That's awesome.
So actually being able to do it and know I could do it. And performing. I love performing too.
Jagged Spade, it's been fucking awesome. Nice talking to you. Thank you so much for joining me in the library with Tim Einenkel.
I appreciate you for having me, man.
Thank you, man.